Today on Talk Jeju, we're talking about the Jeju Forum. As always, Todd Thacker joins me in the studio. So Todd, today we're previewing the 10th Jeju Forum for Peace and Prosperity. Now, over the past decade, it has had the support of the national and provincial governments and attracted hundreds of scholars, government officials, and NGO representatives from all over the world to discuss the pressing issues of the day. So let's kick off this week's segment with a brief rundown of the event.
Sure, Nick. Well, this year the forum runs from May 20th to 22nd, and it's being held again at the Heivichi Resort in Seogwipo. The main theme of this year is, quote, towards a new Asia of trust and harmony. And as you mentioned, it's hosted by the province, the East Asia Foundation, and the Jungang Daily. And it is sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the JDC, among a huge list of others.
Okay, so what is the forum's overall mandate?
Well, it launched in 2001 as a biannual regional meeting on peaceful cooperation and common prosperity. Now, the theory is that international cooperation needs to be based on sort of the sharing of creative ideas, and they felt that Jeju Island would be a perfect venue for such a place, a regular venue that people can come for dialogue, and I think it's lived up to that.
Now, I understand that it has undergone a number of transitions, I guess we can say, over the years. Can you tell us a bit about them?
Sure. Well, one big step was in 2007 when they began proposing Jeju process, which is, quote, a declaration and blueprint for securing domestic and regional peace. Now, the organizers took, quote, a cue from the Helsinki process to craft a meaningful initiative to realize multilateral confidence and security building. Now, that's according to the forum's website. Now, also in 2011, they changed the name from Jeju Peace Forum to the current one, and they switched the timetable too to make it an annual as opposed to a biannual event.
So, what are some of the highlights of this year's program?
Sure. This year, there are 60 sessions and 3 special sessions. The forum kicks off Wednesday afternoon with a performance by Korean soprano Jo Soo-mi, and after which the first special session on non-traditional security cooperation begins. In the evening of that first day, though, session 2E caught my eye. It deals with the creative economy and the role of higher education.
And by the way, the creative economy, of course, is kind of a key idea, and it was this term was coined by the Park Geun-hye administration.
That's right. So this session has an array of panelists who are also university professors. They're from Jeju National University, KAIST, Nankai University in China, and Keio University in Japan. And
I guess that's kind of significant given how education kind of links to new ideas in business, industry, and of course, job creation. Okay, so that was the first day. What about day 2 highlights?
Yes, well, day 2 starts with the second special session and analysis by former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder, who will be discussing the experience that the two Germanys had when they reunified.
And I guess that, we can say for insights into how Korea might prepare itself as well.
Exactly. It's a hugely important topic, and I believe that many people will be listening very keenly on the day. Now, right after that session is the opening ceremony and keynote speeches by former leaders of Indonesia, Germany, Japan, Australia, and China, and Canada. And it will be opened by Jeju Governor Won Hee-ryong, and the session will deal with peace-building strategies in East Asia.
Okay.
Now, other sessions on that day, which again is jam-packed, includes topics such as nuclear security, women's rights, e-government, and much more.
Very full day. Sounds like there's really a lot going on. Can you continue?
Right. So on the 22nd, the last day, among other big lineups of issues that we're looking at, one that caught my eye was the session entitled "Enhancing the Values of Jeju: Responding to Environmental Changes." Now, a number of professors will be discussing how to, quote, enhance the values of environment, culture, and people in Jeju, responding to such social, economic, technological, and environmental changes.
Okay, now let's switch gears a bit, and I'd like you to explain the connection between Jeju Island and this kind of theme of peace.
Sure. Well, on January 27th, 2005, the central government declared Jeju would be officially known as an island of world peace.
And why is that?
Well, interestingly enough, Seoul made the declaration based on the tragic history of the April 3rd incident and the need for reconciliation.
So Jeju was basically chosen based on its, I guess, historical background.
That's right. And to a degree, it's symbolic, but the provincial government and other organizations have clearly embraced this idea.
All right, well, can you give us some examples of how they have embraced it?
Well, sure. So subsequent to the declaration in 2005, the next step was then to set up institutions that could carry out the plan. Now, one is the Jeju International Peace Center, which, as you know, is headquartered right across from the International Convention Center in Jungmun. Now, it opened in 2005, as did the Jeju Peace Institute, which itself is tasked with organizing and promoting regional peace initiatives, including, as you might have guessed, the forum we're talking about today.
And I'd like to point out that the original peace-oriented mandate of the forum has now been expanded to include, not only issues related to peace and security, but also to the regional economy, political issues like North Korea, climate change, and more.
Exactly right.
So when participants come to Jeju, do the organizers, put on any special events to show them more about the island?
They do indeed. There's a natural and cultural heritage tour. Now it deals with topics like the Haenyeo, the Jeju diving women. They go to Seongsan Sunrise Peak and other world natural heritages. Now there's also a culture and art tour. And this year they're going to be visiting photographer Kim Young-gap's gallery, as well as going to the Jeju Stone Park.
Now, if our viewers would like to learn more about this year's forum, or maybe catch up on some past ones, where can they go?
Well, the forum website has information on all the past forums, as well as their reports. These reports are in English, and they're freely downloadable in PDF format. Now, unfortunately, this year registration is now closed, so if our viewers do want to learn more about this particular forum, then they'll have to wait for the official report.
Okay. And I'm sure, we'll definitely have more coverage as the forum progresses next week. Thank you, Todd, for this preview.
My pleasure.
If you have any questions or comments, please email them to talkjeju@kctvjeju.com. Thank you for tuning in today, and I hope you'll join us next week at the same time. If you can't wait until then, though, visit us online at eng.kctvjeju.com or follow us on Facebook. 시청해주신 여러분, 고맙습니다.